AMP2.TV presents You and Your Doctor, teaching you to live a longer and healthier life. Proudly sponsored by All County Healthcare, where people are the heart of our business. All County Healthcare is a Medicare certified agency where one call will service all your home care health needs. For more information, call 954-717-7027 or visit our website, allcountyhealthcare.com. Now, let's get informed to living a longer and healthier life. Here is your host for today's show.
Hi, welcome to You and Your Doctors. I'm Lorena Anderson, your life and energy coach, otherwise known as the Energy Shifter, and we have a really exciting show for you today. Our whole content here is to bring you information, to help educate you so that you can make clear, concise choices and make those decisions from the best ability that you have. And because of that, what we've done is that we've brought different people in here to be able to help you in making those choices and those decisions. So AMP2 TV is presenting, and we have All County Healthcare. That is our sponsor for the shows. So you can join us here. Also, you can find us on wwnnradio.com. You can listen. It's also streaming live on allcountyhealthcare.com. And this is really, I want you to call in. If you've got any questions, I really open up the doors there for you to be able to call in and ask those questions that are most needed. The telephone number here is 888-565 1470, 1470. And I'm going to repeat that one more time. So get your pen out, get your paper. The telephone number here, please call in 888-565 1470. So I'm really excited about the show today. We have a guest on that's going to talk to us about alternative mortgages. His name is Lenny Silvestri, and he works, his company is Alternative Mortgages.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Please. Welcome. Great to
Thank you.
Great to have you.
I'm glad I can be here and assist you and a bunch of seniors.
Bring the mic up closer.
A bunch of seniors that
go.
can really use some alternatives in financing and get income that a lot of them are lacking. As they get older, they have Social Security, and some of them don't have pensions.
Right.
So this is a way where they could substitute and be able to live a good place, which I call aging in place.
Aging in place.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. That's interesting. But you're absolutely right. And not only that, with a lot of the companies lately, they're not even getting a pension any longer. Right. You know, that's gone to the side. So
pension, insurance, they're trying to all cut back.
Yes.
In all segments of employment back, in years prior and years to come.
Wow. So talk to me about what's most important for the aging population when they start getting 65 and over. What's most important for them in terms of the mortgages and everything? What do you offer for them?
Well, we have a program. There's a bunch of programs. They're called forward mortgages and reverse mortgages. Forward mortgages are out there when somebody likes to refinance or purchase their home. And in this case, if they refinance the home, a forward mortgage is they have to pay and continue making payments. So as you get older, making payments at 60, 70, 80 years old becomes a little more difficult.
Yes.
So they divide the government on that. This is an FHA loan, regulated by the government, and they've developed a program where seniors age 62 or older can take advantage of refinancing their home, and they can do a couple different things.
Well, something, we've got a caller that's called in. So we're going to see what his question is and see how you might be able to answer it, and then we'll continue on with what you were discussing.
Okay, great.
Get closer. Perry, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So can you please ask the question?
I have a question. Basically, I'd like to take out whatever I can from my house to be able to spend. So by the time I'm finished here, I have nothing left, and I can be carried out of the house, basically.
Ah, okay. So you're
How
looking.
does that work?
Yeah. Well, we've got the expert here, so let him answer that question. Go ahead.
Perry, let me ask you a couple questions. One, how old are you?
69.
You're 69 years old. And do you have a mortgage on your home currently?
$72,000 remaining.
Okay, and
it's worth $629,000 on Zillow.
okay, so $629,000. So you have a couple different options. Your first option is you could refinance your home and pay off your existing mortgage and get back some equity in your home if you do a fixed rate. They've changed the guidelines a little bit.
Will this allow me to take the money and spend it whatever way I want, traveling and basically enjoying myself in my remaining years?
Well, if you picked a fixed rate, what they do is they limit the amount of cash that you can take out if you do a fixed rate mortgage.
Why is that?
And that's because the government realized that after they take out all that money after the first year, they realized they didn't have enough money to pay their taxes, insurance, and HOA. So what they did is they developed another program by using an adjustable rate. On an adjustable rate refinance, reverse mortgage, you have the ability to do a couple different things. You can take out majority of, or if not all the equity that is allowable, somewhere roughly around 55% of the equity in your home, and to pay off your current mortgage. And you could take out a lump sum. You could do an equity line where the money is just open, and then you can just draw from it whenever you want. And the other thing you can do is you could spread out for a certain length of time how much money you want. So you could take out, for instance, I want $1,000 a month or $1,500 a month, and they would calculate that based on the age and how long that would go for a specific amount of time. So you may want to take, the more you take out per month, the shorter the time is. Of course, one thing which is great with all this is that you never have to pay the mortgage back. The only thing you're going to be responsible for is your taxes, your insurance, and any kind of HOA payment. So the government, if you live to be 200 years old, you'll live for 200, you'll never have to make another mortgage payment. And then you can take that vacation that you want to.
Excellent. Did that answer your question, Perry?
That, like it was explained to me before. It's Lenny, is that correct?
Yes, Lenny Silvestri from Alternative Mortgage, and you could my phone number if you're.
How would I get in touch with you? Is there a number I can write down?
Sure. The number you can write down, I'm right here in Boca Raton, Florida, is 561-395-4264. That's 561-395-4264. And I also have a web address if you're interested at www.myfmw.com. That's www.myfmw.com. And there's some information on that website, too, that may be helpful as well.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, Perry, very much.
That's
and if you give us a call, and all you have to do is give us a call and apply.
Wonderful. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Perry.
I enjoyed the show tremendously.
Excellent. Well, thank you for calling in. We really do appreciate it. Okay, great. Excellent. So, that was very, very interesting what you were talking about with the reverse mortgage and how you don't have to pay it back. You can live until 200. I don't know if too many people are doing that today, but, you never know. We're reversing this aging process,
Absolutely.
That's my goal, reverse the aging process. So, there's no requirement for them to pay that back?
There's no requirement, and the beauty of the whole thing is besides the only requirements to be approved is, number one, you just apply, and we have formulas and calculate exactly how much the government is going to lend.
Okay.
The qualifications are very minimal. The credit qualifications is very minimal. Even if somebody had a foreclosure a couple of years ago, as long as you can explain and give enough information why it happened, you still be approved. If your income is very low and you think you can't afford, the overall payment, still apply. Because the only thing we really care about is, number one, we know you don't have to make payments in the home. But we know that you have to, this has to be a primary residence and you live there. And the other thing is that we want to make sure you can afford to pay those property taxes and the property insurance and the HOA, and they all have to maintain current. So they look at it as, listen, seniors, the government came out and needed to help these seniors because they had a lack of income. So they gave away, listen, let's not make the requirements that stringent and difficult. Let's not exclude anybody. And we advise to everybody, give us a call. See what we can do for you at any time. Even if you think that you may not be approved, they're very, very lenient to be able to get you approved and find a way how we can make this process easy for you.
Excellent. So, and who's eligible for that?
Of course, anybody who's 62 years or older. And of course, there's a formula where if you're 62 years or older, you get less
Can it be
equity.
55?
No.
I mean, you can get on AARP at 50.
Well, I'm going to give you a yes and no question.
And you can get in the community, the retired community at 55.
Yes.
So, but they wait until 62. Oh my goodness.
Well, the way they used to do it, and they changed this. The requirement is 62 years old.
Okay.
And they used to exclude a non-borrowing spouse if they were less. And they said, you know what, take the spouse off the deed, and they would just have the older husband or wife to qualify.
Oh my goodness.
And they've actually changed it.
Oh, thank goodness. Because if all of a sudden the oldest spouse ends up leaving this planet,
that was a problem.
And then the remaining spouse, they get kicked out?
That's exactly what happened.
Gosh.
And they would have 12 months to either refinance or sell the home, and then they would extend it another 6 months if they had problems. What they did is they changed that about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Both husband and wife do need to sign now. And even if your wife is 55 and you're 62, you can still get cash out and you can still refinance and utilize the government's loan capability, and you're okay as long as one of them is at 62.
Okay.
And the other beauty that people misconceive about this is they think when you do a reverse mortgage that I have to give my deed and I'm not going to be on the deed, and I have to give it to the government and they're going to be signed, and that's totally incorrect. When you do this process and you do a refinance, you are still on the deed, you and your wife. There is nobody else on the deed. The government's not on the deed. The lender don't own the property. You still own the property.
Okay, well that's very, very positive.
And the reason why
I'm loving to hear
yes,
that.
Well,
I was like, oh my gosh, what happens?
Well, now in this process though, so if you happen to decease or expire, your wife can live there as long as she can for free without making a mortgage payment. So she could live another 20 years. Where prior the process wasn't like that. Right. And then they started realizing, here I am, 85 years old, I'm going to have to get out of my house. I mean, no.
Yeah, that's insane. Yes. That's crazy.
So now they have changed that. And at the end, if you ever decide to refinance the house or to sell the home, if there is equity, you actually get the equity back.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, because I was going to say that a lot of times, some of them have been in their home for a really long time, and it's a big house. And then something happens and they need to downsize. What happens then?
You just refinance the property. So in that case, if you have to refinance the property and say the value, like this gentleman who just called in, if this value is $600 and he took a loan out for $200, say, $250, and then 15 years down the road, he wanted to sell his property, he wanted to downsize, whatever the equity's left, he'll get a check at closing.
Wow.
And the government doesn't take your money. Now, they'll just pay back whatever you owe in the loan, of course.
Right.
But it's just important that they still have to understand that it has to be a primary residence. They want to make sure you upkeep the home and the taxes and the insurance. And other than that...
Now, is there a specific eligibility for the home, a type of home that they're only covering, or...
You can go a single-family home, a townhouse, a villa. Some condos are acceptable as long as they're FHA approved.
Okay.
And you can go on HUD.gov to see if your condo is an FHA approved condo.
Okay, so that's HUD.com.
.gov.
.gov. Thank you.
And you just type in condo approval, and then they'll come up, and you type in to see if your condo's approved. And the only other thing that we do not do is we do not do co-ops.
Okay.
But every other home does qualify.
Yeah. Well, down here in South Florida, I don't think there are many co-ops.
No, they're not.
No, I think that's a New York thing.
That is a New York thing, absolutely.
Excellent. Can you lose your home if you end up, well, I think you kind of answered that. One of the questions that came up for me was, if you do a reverse mortgage, and what kind of lineage then does that give to the children? Say that, all of a sudden both spouses are dead and there's the house. What happens then?
Well, that's a good question. Say both parents happen to live and they both live to 100 years old. Mm-hmm. If the value of the home when they refinance, we'll say it was $300,000, and they say they pretty much outlived their reverse mortgage and they owe $250,000. So they owe more than the property's worth. In this case, the heirs do not have to pay any of it back. The government puts on their mortgage insurance and is paid for in the beginning of the loan process, and paid monthly, and no matter what happens at the end if they owe money. Now, in the reverse, if this gentleman, when he called in at $600, and you know what, at the time that he expired, the value, he only owed $350,000, the house would be sold. Usually within the first 6 to 12 months is required by the government, and whatever's left over would go to the heirs, and they would recoup whatever equity is still remaining in the home. Okay,
because that was one of the concerns that I had heard with reverse mortgages, and that was probably, how long has reverse mortgages been out? It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, they probably started the process, I would say 8 to 10 years ago, when they pretty much realized that, the seniors, didn't put away and didn't have enough pension money, to survive, and the way the economy's going and all the expensive things required now, and the values that they had to put something in place. And this is a great thing if somebody only had Social Security and they can tap into that equity in their home, and they can get monthly payments if they want. And some of the things that you got to realize going into this and want to do this. One is, do you want to remain in your home forever? And I think, as I call it, aging in place, a lot of people feel more comfortable at home, and they don't want to be in a nursing home. Yeah. And it's expensive in those nursing homes as well.
Oh, I know.
So if they're in their own comfort of their home, they just have to make sure other factors that when they do this and they want to stay in their home, do they have easy access in their home? Is it enough safe for them to be home? Right. A lot of them may not want to do a lot of the maintenance around
but
and whatnot.
If they've got additional income coming in, that might help cover help that you can bring in, the CNAs.
You can bring it, absolutely. They can bring it in where the facilities, the facility to go into one of those homes, the cost is like $7,500 a month.
Oh, my goodness.
So if somebody be in there, some of the factors that they have to, is that they got to be able to be on their own, or be able to bring somebody in to help them if needed, and it's not all the case.
Well, what's really cool is that, all county healthcare offers those services. And that's what's really cool. So if you end up, needing to do a reverse mortgage and then you need the help, that's like a perfect marriage there.
I've heard a lot of good things about them for a long time.
Yes. Well, and they're also sponsors of the show.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. So one of the other questions that I have also is, who gets on the title of the mortgage? Who's on that title for a reverse mortgage?
Usually they usually vest it in the husband and wife.
Okay.
If they did have one of their heirs on it, they could. And actually, they are protected as well if they want to go on just on the deed. But, they're on it. The people, the husband, the wife, are on the deed.
Okay.
They own
You
the
don't have
property.
to sign it over to the government or anything?
Nothing
or,
like that.
Okay. Or the
Nothing
mortgage
like
company?
that. And
Oh,
at
cool.
the end, they make a decision where they can just, when the value goes too high and they both have expired, they just walk away, and they don't have to pay it back. And that's why they have the insurance, and that's why FHA, this is an FHA federated program, they have mortgage insurance to cover for a case of being, as we call it, upside down, or owing more on the property than it's worth.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Does it go back to the bank then after that?
The bank takes it back,
Okay.
and then they go through it and fix it up, and they'll sell it. But they're protected because of the mortgage insurance.
The other question that I'm thinking about as well is, what's the cost? Because I know you have to refinance. Is there a difference in reverse mortgages and the cost of that?
There is a slightly higher cost, and you still have the appraisal, the title insurance, doc stamps, intangible tax, recording fees, just like if you did a forward mortgage. These type of mortgages have a little more cost because the mortgage insurance is higher, and it's as a protection for the government in case of the property is worth less than what is owed to the bank. And the title insurance they take out is a little bit higher as protection as well. So there are slightly higher costs, but when you refinance, you're not coming up with any costs. These costs are going to be taken out of the loan amount.
Right.
So whatever
right.
loan amount you have, you could start the process in doing a reverse mortgage with basically no money out of your pocket.
Okay. Say that one more time, just so I got that right.
So you can refinance
I
your
can
property.
refinance the property,
Correct?
throw my closing cost into the refinancing of that
Yes.
property,
Yes.
and then what?
And then basically you refinance the whole property. If
Okay.
you have a mortgage, they can pay off that mortgage, and no money will come out of your pocket.
Wow. Okay, that's cool. But with
Yes.
reverse mortgage, then they can't do that.
No,
Okay.
reverse mortgage, you can do that.
You can do that too. You can
Yes.
take your closing costs and throw that into the.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes,
okay.
whatever the loan amount, depending on your age, because the loan amount and equity in your home is all determined in a reverse mortgage on your age.
I gotcha.
So the older you are, the more equity you have, the more
Right,
equity
right.
you can take out.
Yeah.
They figure the max value on any home is $625,500. So even if your home is worth $2 million, the most they're really going to give you, depending on your age, is 50 to 65% equity out of the home with a max of $625,500. No matter what
Gotcha.
value is higher than that.
Wow. Okay. Well, I've got to tell you, this has been really, really interesting. I am thrilled that you had the time to come and visit us and inform us, educate us about what's available out there. Please look into the camera and tell us your information again, the name of your company, your website, your telephone number.
Yes.
How do they get to reach you?
All right. First, I would love anybody who has any questions whatsoever to give me a call. It's very simple to call and just apply, ask questions, maybe get some more information. My company's called Alternative Mortgage Group. I am right here in Boca Raton, Florida. My phone number is 561-395-4264. That's 561-395-4264. My name is Lenny Silvestri. I've owned the company for almost 20 years.
Wow.
And any questions you have, they'll be answered. What else?
That's great. That's great. I had no clue you were in business for 20 years. That's fabulous.
Yes.
That is wonderful. Well, we really do appreciate you being on the show today. You and your doctor.
I just want to say one other thing.
Yes, please.
There's still, even though they have questions on reverse mortgages, we also do, they may want to do a forward mortgage, which is refinance for 30 years, or maybe take an equity line out and you can take disbursements, and you can go that route as well. You just have to figure out that a forward mortgage you have to repay, a reverse mortgage you don't have to pay. We do all types of mortgages, from FHA, conventional, reverse mortgages. So we do portfolio lending. So any questions you have, it's really the best thing to just call 561-395-4264. I should have a jingle.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe
I love
should
it.
have
I
a
love
jingle.
it. Yeah. One more time. One more time. Go ahead.
561-395-4264. And that's at www.myfmw.com.
Excellent. Excellent. Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. If we have any callers that call in or anybody who sends us an email or whatever, we will absolutely pass that on.
And let me give you my email. That's a great thing because sometimes people don't want to go on the phone and they rather just email. My email is flamortgages, plural, @gmail.com. That's flamortgages, plural, @gmail.com.
Okay. Super. Excellent.
Great. It was a pleasure being here.
Yeah, it was great to have you too. Well, we're going to break for a commercial at this moment, and we will be back with you with our next guest.
All County Healthcare is locally owned and operated, serving the Tri-County area, Palm Beach, Dade, and Broward counties for the last 25 years. The practice of medicine is changing dramatically. All County Healthcare still does it the old-fashioned way, where our nurses and healthcare professionals come into your home to service your medical needs, providing you the fastest and best care possible. For more information, call 954-717-7027. And remember, Medicare Home Care is covered by Part A of Medicare with no out-of-pocket cost to you. It's your decision and only your decision on what healthcare agency you use. Call today. All County Home Health Care, Inc. at 954-717-7027. License 200999096.
Hi, I'm Deanna Barron. I'm a nurse with All County Health Care. Getting older is not for sissies. That's what one of my patients says. And it's funny, but it's true. Live long enough and you'll get arthritis, skin cancer, and probably one of the common chronic diseases like CHF, COPD, and diabetes. At All County Home Care, we teach you how to manage your disease. We make sure you know how to take your medication, how to recognize the signs and symptoms before requiring hospitalization, no matter how many visits it takes. You didn't move to Florida to be sick. You moved here to enjoy the rest of your life. And that's exactly what our team of nurses, therapists, and aides at All County help you do. When the doctor says you need home care, remember, the agency is your choice. Choose All County Home Health. We give you what you need to get well and to stay well.
Join the Dream Team Ride Experience on August 19th at PGA National Resort and Spa as riders leave for a scenic 2,000-mile road trip from Palm Beach to Farmington, Connecticut, all to benefit Special Olympics. In Farmington, August 26th through the 28th, a weekend extravaganza and celebration features thousands of motorcycles, hundreds of exotic cars, a rally and ride, dream car cruise, and car and bike show. Join fans, friends, and hundreds of Special Olympics athletes from across the U.S. and around the world as they gather at the 16th annual Dream Ride Experience to unite in celebration of the accomplishment of individuals with disabilities. Proceeds benefit Special Olympics and other charitable organizations in our communities. Register, ride, donate, sponsor, volunteer, or participate today. Visit dreamride.org to learn more. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. What do you believe? Who is the only person who can stop you? Only you. When was the last time you have someone holding your vision, your dreams for you? When was the last time someone held you accountable for achieving them? That's when Lorena Anderson steps in and becomes your coach, your personal energy coach. With her powerful and proven techniques, she will assist you in assessing and accelerating your maximum potential. One of the most powerful tools is quieting your mind and relaxing your body. It allows you to de-stress and calm and eventually brings your happy back. If finding your happy is important to you, please call the Energy Shifter, Lorena Anderson, at 954-647-5525 to schedule a free half-hour phone session, or email her at lorenaanderson@gmail.com. She's looking forward to connecting with you. Call her. You are listening to You and Your Doctor, Living Longer and Healthier, an informative show that helps you find answers to questions you always wanted to ask, but did not have that somebody that could make a difference in your life. Call into the show if you have a question at 888-565-1470, and we will put you on the air to inform all our listeners. Now, back to our show.
Hi, welcome back to You and Your Doctor. We've got another very exciting guest with us tonight. As a matter of fact, and you can come in. First of all, we're going to be here every Tuesday from 6 to 7, and our whole entire theme is to educate you on what is most necessary and important as you create this aging process, as you go through the aging process. You can watch us live on internet TV at wwnnradio.com and just scroll down on the homepage to WWN Live TV, and then you can watch us because that's so much fun too. And also allhealthcare.com, that's streaming live as well. We'd love to hear any questions that you might have. Our telephone number here is 888-565-1470. Please call in. We'd love to hear from you. So our next guest is a doctor, Dr. Tommy Spiegel. And please introduce yourself.
Well, hello. Hello, Radio Land. Dr. Tommy here. Nice to see you.
Yeah, exactly. So give them your official title, the name of your practice.
Right. Well, it would be Thomas Spiegel, DDS, and we practice out of Painless Dentistry out at Margate, Florida.
Okay.
It's kind of by 441 and just north of Copans. And
your cell number?
The phone number to the office is 954-978-8866.
And
8866.
I love it. I love it. And do you have an email address as well?
You can reach me at Tommy Spiegel, TOMMYSPIEGEL @gmail.com.
Excellent. Excellent.
Fabulous.
So welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we have a dentist in the house.
Yes, I know. Nobody likes going to the dentist. I mean, how did you even do this?
Let me tell you, it's not my favorite place by any means.
Right.
You know, I've gone through tons of dental work and everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks nice. I'm looking at it. I don't know if you can see it. You should check in on this because look at the smile on her. This is what a nice smile can do for you, right? It can change your entire life.
Absolutely.
That's all.
Absolutely. Not only that, but you know something? One thing that I always tell all my clients.
Yeah.
The best thing that you can do is share a smile.
Right.
It doesn't cost you anything.
Yep.
It lightens you up. It makes you feel good. Even if the person doesn't smile back, doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It feels good. So
it does.
The smile has everything to do with it.
Yeah.
And especially, the teeth, because that can make such a huge difference.
Well, there's actually, you will produce endorphins and enkephalins from a smile. You take all of the muscles that are working, and that actually works on your brain, and you will produce mood elevating chemicals into your bloodstream.
Ooh, we like that. Yes,
so even
yes.
But then you have to fight the ones like if they don't smile back, and then then the negative ones could come back because we're conditioned to that. So you just smile. If you have beautiful teeth, you smile, and the world will open up to you.
And just so you know, if you don't have beautiful teeth, call Dr. Tommy.
That's right.
Because
we'll give you the beautiful
help you.
teeth. For
Absolutely.
Sure.
And then smile all the time. And who cares if they smile back or not? You turn around and you smile. So excellent.
We just saw her. We picked her up. She was on the side of the street. Look at that smile. Now look where she is today with that smile.
It took a lot of dental work, honey. Lots of dental work.
Paid off though. It's an investment.
Yeah, it is. It is an investment. Absolutely, absolutely. So we kind of talked about this. Why should we go to a dentist? But mainly, do you have a particular expertise? Especially for the older generation.
Well,
or seniors, I should say.
Right, seniors, right, sure. Well, I'm a periodontist, and I really specialize in doing dental implants. So most of the population that I treat are missing teeth, and or heading in with different processes that are leading to missing teeth, and we can replace them. It's kind of a magical thing. We can now give them teeth. Very predictably now, and very painlessly.
Wow.
And affordably.
That's even more amazing.
Yes.
That is more amazing.
It's extremely, much more affordable than you would think.
Well, okay. Because I know in the beginning, because, I've gone the whole spectrum with dentistry.
Sure, yeah.
So in the beginning, you're talking about an implant. You might have been talking about, $7,000 or $8,000 for one.
Right.
And now it seems like after time, they've really come a long way in creating the particular implants, but it's also become much more economical as well. I mean, is there a particular range for an implant?
Well, basically, for your listeners, and in our office, we're honoring a dental implant, and you would get a free crown, and everything included in that for about $1,500, which is ridiculous.
Oh my gosh!
So I mean, it's extremely affordable.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You're working with a specialist, myself, who's the best in the business.
Ooh,
as
I like
well.
that.
Not just,
Okay. We have an expert in the house.
Graduated
Absolutely.
cum laude, third in the class,
Wonderful.
Very good hands, very good.
Excellent.
People enjoy it. All the patients come back and they, it was much easier. I'm so glad that I did that.
Oh, cool.
You
Yeah,
know.
I've got to tell you, it makes a world of difference.
It's changed my life because not only that, it's just much more than the money. Because another thing, you should find a dentist who's not looking to overtreat you, and nobody's the same. Mm-hmm. Some people can survive without teeth as long as you can digest and assimilate your nutrients of your food, which is paramount to your health.
Right.
Then you might not need everything. You might not need the perfect smile. We can tailor things to what the person needs.
I understand.
Right? So when someone comes to me and I try to find out a little bit about them, we try to engage with our people. What is it that you want to accomplish?
Absolutely, because how can you service them properly if you don't know what they're looking for?
Right.
And also what their budget can afford as well.
Right.
But I do know, though, if you don't have the ability of being able to chew your food properly, that it's really more difficult to digest.
Sure.
And if you can't digest, sometimes you don't get the nutrients that are so important.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Everything goes down from there. Right? I mean, really.
That's very true.
Sure. Everything kind of does go down, starting from there. It's the beginning of the system, and then all of those beautiful cells that you have on our bodies, they need these nutrients to thrive.
Right. Absolutely. And not only that, but even when you're older too.
Yeah.
It's absolutely essential to be able to get those nutrients.
Absolutely, more than ever.
Yes.
More than ever, because the body it exposes all of your frailties, right? You're more susceptible to the different diseases and whatnot. So by improper nutrition, starting with poorly functioning teeth and gums, the rest of your health is suspect.
Absolutely.
It all starts there.
Yes. I know that personally, too. I had a father-in-law, and he lived down here. I lived in Chicago. He lived down in Boynton Beach, and we brought him up.
Yeah.
He was so used to junk food.
Sure. Well, everybody is.
Yeah. All the fats, all the salts.
Yeah.
And I've got to tell you, he was just miserable.
Yeah.
He was just miserable. And then I kind of was coaching him, I guess.
Sure.
And I'm feeding him the good foods and everything. The only thing that he had a difficult time with is that I did a salt substitute.
Sure.
And that he was not very happy with. So at 82 years old, he's going to pack his bags and he's going to go back down to Boynton Beach because then he can have his real salt.
Right. Exactly.
But not to get off the subject, but one of the things that I do know, though, at that age, you start taking different medications. How does that affect your teeth?
Well, I mean, medication from antihistamines to decongestants to pain pills to dementia.
Wow.
All of these things will at least contribute to what's called xerostomia, or a dry mouth. That's a very common complication with all the medications. Almost everyone. And a dry mouth, basically, their saliva is there to protect your teeth and gums from disease, protect your teeth from decay, protect your gums from gum disease. And so if you have a dry mouth, you need to look at that, and you need to get your health, your dental health, in order. And you also need to probably start with not using anything that's going to accentuate the drying, like a mouthwash with alcohol. Do not use that. The only thing I would recommend to somebody would say to use, believe it or not, coconut oil. You would gargle and soothe your mouth with coconut oil. So anyone who has these dry mouth symptoms, yes, these are natural. A lot in all of the nutrition. Start out with simple things. Eat things with just one simple ingredient, right?
Okay.
So
yes.
coconut oil is nice to hydrate the mouth.
Wow, I did not know that.
Okay, there you
and
go.
I
So that's
love
a little
coconut.
tip I'm giving you.
Yes, I love that. Hey, golden nugget.
Yes.
We love
that's
golden
a golden
nuggets.
nugget. Yes. Freebie there.
Well, and I love coconut oil.
Yeah.
I love everything coconut. Coconut water.
Absolutely.
Coconut
Fantastic.
milk,
Fantastic.
It's one of them.
Helps with dementia. A lot of, there's different triglycerides in there that are very helpful with dementia and staving off Alzheimer's. All good stuff. Also good for your teeth and gums. Antibacterial, and will help stem the dry mouth. So that's one of the things why an elderly senior person should come in.
So I'm just going to give a disclaimer here. Please, whatever you do, I know we live in South Florida. We got plenty of coconuts up in the trees. Do not try to climb. Don't do that, okay? Not good for your health.
Right.
It's easily accessible at the grocery store.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's very interesting.
Plus, elderly are susceptible, to... if just to not go in and have a cancer screening of your mouth, which many elderly are wearing different partials or sometimes irritation of dentures and partials. If you feel any irritation or irritation from a partial or a denture, you need to go in and have that looked at, because that constant irritation can lead to oral cancers.
Really?
Yes. These are things that many people don't realize.
No, we don't know.
In fact, my grandmother actually died from that. So it's a very sensitive subject for me. So you need well-fitting dentures and partials. If they're not, you need to have them looked at.
Wow. Well, that's really good information.
Right.
Well, talk to us more about that. To explain more why that is so essential.
The staving off of cancer?
Yes, absolutely.
Because that sucker can kill you.
Well, we got that one. Yes, we know that.
But,
thank you, grandmother. She's
but
looking
prevention,
down.
right? Early detection. Always.
Absolutely.
Early detection. So you can come in, you just have like a little thing, and it's the simplest thing to take care of, and it never bothers you again. If it gets further along, just like in anything, it becomes a problem that's not even treatable anymore. So,
Gotcha.
And it's very simple to go to your dentist, and he looks at it and you do a complete cancer screening. And these things are not...
Is it something that they're doing nowadays, your dentist?
Sure. And you can ask them. If you go into a dentist now and he hasn't done it, ask him to please give you a cancer screening.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say to you, our listeners and our audience here. If your dentist does not offer that, please ask for that. Because
absolutely,
it's absolutely essential.
Yeah.
So give us some statistics about the cancer rate for people that have that form oral cancer. What is the statistic on that?
Well, I don't have that exact statistic in front of me, but I know that at least if there's just one person who got that got oral cancer from something that could have been easily prevented by seeing their dentist, then that's good enough for me.
Because it's
prevalent. It's way more prevalent than you think.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
It's way more prevalent than you think. It's going on all the time, and many of these cancers then are metastasized from other areas, and they don't realize that they stemmed from there.
Oh,
so that's where the statistic can get confused. So they originate in the mouth.
And then it
Then
travels.
it can travel to other sections.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's very interesting as well.
Yes.
Because a lot of times the elderly, they get to a point where they don't take care of their teeth anymore. They can become more sedentary.
Sure.
They're taking more medication.
Sure.
They don't have the energy. They don't have the strength anymore.
Sure.
Or they have to call somebody to have them, be picked up and taken someplace.
Sure.
And many times it's just so much of a headache for them, and they don't really even, they don't want to go through the hassle.
Right.
So, so this is really, really important to make sure that you have you make time to be able to get to the dentist. Have them check it out, just like you would your regular doctor or your heart doctor.
Yes.
Get to the
Absolutely.
dentist.
It's very simple. Just to start from a baseline, because everything from the health of your entire body, literally, like we talked about before, it stems from the digestion and assimilation and absorption of the nutrients within your gut and your bacteria and your body. And if and then it can stem to cancer. But at least get your mouth healthy. This way, your whole body has a chance to heal itself.
Yeah. Well, and we don't
Eat
hear
well.
about this.
Yes, absolutely.
We hear about the heart disease. We hear about the lung diseases. We hear about, all the various other cancers, prostate cancer.
Sure.
But I've really not heard that much about the oral cancers.
Well, not only that, let me just say this. Your mouth is a barometer for your entire body. Okay, so your gums, you actually have, a communication. There's a small communication between the little sulcus of the gums next to the teeth. So that communication with the outside world. So if you have like inflammation, periodontal disease, where bacteria are in your gums and you don't realize it, if you're not flossing them and cleaning them every day, those bacteria are then getting seeded into your bloodstream.
Wow, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So now those bacteria go into your bloodstream and they've been shown to show up on your heart valves. They've been shown to show up on prosthetic limbs, prosthetic knees and joints.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if you go to the dentist,
yeah.
if anyone has that, they're supposed to take an antibiotic before so that the bacteria don't lodge onto those susceptible
Yeah. Like
areas.
hip replacements, knee
knee replacements,
shoulders, that
all
kind of
of
stuff.
that, all of
Okay.
that. So what is that saying? That means that there's a communication. So if the hygienist goes in and cleans your teeth, those bacteria get into your bloodstream. Now, as well as that, there's also inflammatory cells and molecules that your body then tries to fight that off. So you have a raise in inflammation.
Oh, okay.
So inflammation is really the hallmark, is really an implication in all chronic disease. Heart disease, cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, lung disease, anything. There's certainly a component of these inflammatory cells that are coming through. So you need to have an anti-inflammatory, healthy mouth. The bacteria can go in; they can lodge into the kidneys.
Oh, okay.
They can lodge into the heart valves, and the studies show that you have a link with periodontal disease with increased heart disease. What is it? So there's a correlation there.
Right.
That's unequivocally.
Wow.
So get healthy at least, even if you don't make the beautiful smiling mouth that you have. At least get everything. At least get everything healthy,
Yes.
right? So that you can,
Yes.
enjoy your later years or any year that you have. Whether if you're a young child, even no matter what, keep the inflammation down. It's implicated in every disease known to man.
So, talk to me a little bit about root canals.
Okay.
That it seems to be something that, so often later in life, instead of really working on saving a tooth, they just pull it and it just be gone.
Right.
So, but I don't know of a lot of the senior citizens out there in the later ages that even bother with a root canal. It's just like, get rid of it.
Yeah,
Take it
just
away.
pull it out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the best thing to do is to save a natural tooth, whatever you can do. So if a root canal is indicated, but there's some other considerations like how far gone, and that's why you really need to go see a good dentist to figure that out. You've got an infection in the tooth. First of all, let's get any infections out of our mouths, period. Right? Let's start with that. And then if you have an infected tooth, if it could use a root canal, do the root canal.
Okay.
If it's not too far gone, it's a judgment call. Then pull it and replace it if needed with an implant.
Okay.
Follow. Sometimes an implant is a better alternative than a root canal. Other times a root canal is better. So it's not. You follow?
Yeah.
It's really a judgment call. Every single case is different.
Well, talk to me more about the implants also, because I know that there are stages that it goes through to be able to get an implant put in.
Right.
So, I know of that sometimes there's not enough bone, so they have to do a bone augmentation.
Sure.
Or they have to do a sinus lift.
Sure.
To get more of the bone in there.
Sure.
So, but you're the expert. You talk.
I'm listening.
No. You're the expert. I know a lot about it. As I said, I've been going to a dentist since I was about this high.
Of course.
And constant. So,
Yes.
it's lots of money in that mouth.
Yes. Well,
So
basically, the implant is taking the place of the root of a tooth. So you have a bone. So you need, if we simplify it, it's almost putting like a fancy wood screw, a titanium wood screw into bone, and you need a volume of bone, right?
Okay. Yes.
You need it has to go in bone, not air, and you need a quality of bone too. that is like kind of strong, and in a healthy person where that bone will adhere and bond to that implant, and then it is like a rock solid anchor within your teeth.
Oh, okay.
Within your jaw, and then they can be used to build a tooth on, or to build maybe a denture to attach to it, or many things. It's almost like an erector set. So it's nice to get those in. They also will preserve the amount of bone that's there. That will stop the resorption of bone too.
Oh, okay.
So
that's
in cases
good.
where it's already resorbed, we can rebuild the bone around it to by doing a bone augmentation. And sometimes in the upper, you have like sinuses that are in the way, and there's air-filled spaces. You can't put an implant in the air, so you need to do sinus lifting. But the technologies have gotten very, very advanced, and these are very simple procedures that can be done really painlessly. I mean, just about painlessly.
How long do they last?
Well, now an implant it's better than a tooth in one respect, that it will never get any decay, right? Because it's a piece of metal, so it will never decay or get a cavity.
Okay.
So there you have that.
I like that.
Okay, but it still is susceptible to periodontal disease. So they still need to be cleansed. Okay. So if you were to clean them basically and keep an infection without, by using maybe even like swishing around with antimicrobial mouth rinses and brushing and flossing, like maybe the coconut oil again, you could do that. That helps with that. And then they really could last for your life, your entire lifetime.
How often do you have to go back to get them cleaned by the dentist?
Well, that depends on a person's level of plaque production. Okay. Maybe 3, maybe 4 months, maybe 6 months.
Okay.
And some people, and I mean, listen, some people who are very meticulous with their hygiene and cleaning at home, which is more important than anything that you can do in the dentist. One of the most important things with your life, anyone's life, that I would say, is to become responsible for your own health and your own life. So it's much easier for you to take care of it at home. Prevention, always. Ounce of prevention worth a pound of cures. No truer words have ever been spoken.
I totally agree. Yes, absolutely.
So
I love the water pick.
The water pick is a nice tool. Yeah. It's a nice tool.
I love that. It gets in there, gets all the little squirmies out of there. Leftovers. My leftovers.
Right, absolutely.
From the day.
Could have saved them for later,
I don't think so.
Absolutely. Anything that you're using to clean them up, and that's a nice tool as well.
Yes.
And there's these little Proxer brushes, little things that go in between the teeth that you can maybe...
they got the little itty bitty brush at the end.
Yeah, little
right?
brush ends. Those are fantastic.
Yeah. And you can carry them with you too, right?
They have ones you can put in your purse, or your man purse if you are so inclined.
Yeah. Excellent. So tell me about, we talked about your root canals, we talked about implants, how they are put in.
Right.
How long does it take for an implant to be firmly in there?
Operational,
shall we say?
ready to go.
Operational, yeah. There you go. Without the
once
temporary.
again, that depends on the individual and the situation as well. I mean, implants can be put in, and the tooth can be put on immediately. They can walk in and walk out with a tooth on an implant. Okay.
Now, do you have to wait a certain amount of time for that implant to grow into that?
Well, like I say, if you've got that's the best case scenario, where you can actually, you do still wait, but you can actually get a tooth on the implant immediately. And then it would take 6 months, 3 to 6 months for it to completely osseointegrate is the term, but bond to the bone. But you'd be able to chew on it right away.
Wow.
Other times,
just don't bite into an apple if you got one in the front.
Right. Yeah.
Don't bite into that apple just yet.
Or it'd be a real soft, mushy one.
No.
Applesauce.
Applesauce.
That'd be good for you.
There you go. I love it. Yeah. So, is the treatment plan right for everyone?
No, absolutely not. That's why I say, if you sit down and if you go in to see your doctor, you want to get a rapport with the doctor, right? This is a this is someone who's working with you with your health, right? Mm-hmm. You need to have a good feeling about that. So we try to find out with what this individual, what are your goals? What do you want? Mm-hmm. First, we would talk about health, and then we can move up from the simplest things to just get infection and health in your mouth, all the way up to like the beautiful smile that you have, all the way to like making it just the most gorgeous, smile that you could want. Mm-hmm. So it runs the gamut. Nothing is the same.
Yes.
And this is not. And if you can, we're offering. You can come into the office and get cancer screening, a full mouth X-ray, and cleaning for $45.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Well,
Okay, that's not a lot.
I've got to tell you, it has been a pleasure to have you on the show. Please give us your Dr. Thomas Spiegel.
Yes.
as I'm trying to race the clock here. Office number is
954-978-8866.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
It's been wonderful
We've
having
had
you
a blast.
here. Yes,
If everyone
absolutely.
comes in, we'll give you. There's all kinds of other information. Be good to yourselves and be good to everyone you come in contact with.
Yay. And thank
Yes.
you, audience, for being here with us this evening. We've loved having you. And give us a call at any time, amp2tv.com or amp2tv or All County Healthcare. Thank you, our sponsors. We so appreciate you being here.
Thank you for letting us share with you a longer and healthier lifestyle. If you have a doctor or are a doctor and wish to be on the show, call AMP2TV at 866-244-5422, and we will put you on the air as soon as possible. Tune in next week for more information on living longer and having a healthier life. The opinions expressed on the